We are going to build a great border wall to stop illegal immigration. I would build a great wall, and nobody builds walls better than me, believe me. I'm going to stop illegal immigration and drugs coming into our country, and yes, we will build the wall.
We could spend the whole show playing those clips. It was the one thing Donald Trump was perfectly clear about as he campaigned for president. If elected, he would build a border wall on our southern border. On the strength of that promise, above all other promises, he beat 16 other Republican candidates, upset Hillary Clinton, and the Republican Party unexpectedly kept both houses of Congress. Where's the wall, by the way? Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell's position is, thanks for the votes, the wall, maybe later.
Is the funding of the border wall going to wait until after the midterm elections?
Probably, and that's something we do have a disagreement on. And
so Homeland Security won't get funded before the midterms?
Probably not.
Yeah, probably not, because there's a disagreement. But there's some consensus, too, on the Republican side. Republicans have been able to pursue tons of other priorities. They passed the largest corporate tax cut in history, expanded the H-2B foreign worker program. So who exactly is the Republican Party representing? Voters or a handful of donors? We think you know. Lou Dobbs has spent years thinking about this. He hopes Lou Dobbs tonight on Fox Business. He joins us tonight. I'm kind of speechless to this.
Well, that's the problem. One becomes, all of this becomes ineffable to describe, to accept, and to deal with, because it is so obviously toxic and corrosive. There are so many sellouts. You know that the Republican leadership in the House and the Senate are made up of simply, acolytes of expediency, and of course, corporate America, the U.S. multinationals, and the Koch brothers, Wall Street, Business Roundtable, and the Chamber of Commerce. And by the time you get through, there's no room for the American people, just 300 million of us. There's no room for the middle class, working men and women and their families. That's why President Trump got elected. The American people sensed the inordinate power and corruption of the establishment, and that's why this anti-establishment president was elected.
But they're proving the point. So a lot of people voted for Trump because they thought, this isn't a democracy, it's an oligarchy, stop lying to me. And now they're proving that it's true. In a democracy, you would look and say, what's the thing that voters voted for in the last election? Let's try and do it. They're not even trying.
Yeah, they're not trying, and they're doing it rather snootily, I think, as well. Probably not. Dismissive, superior, and oh, by the way, don't even pretend that you belong in the same room as me. Unwashed, says Mitch McConnell. And Paul Ryan, he's talking about a better way agenda to compete, when in fact what they're both saying is we're going to do exactly what Charles Koch says. We're going to keep open borders. We're going to bring across as many illegal immigrants as possible. The middle class be damned. The working man and woman in this country be damned. America be damned. They're not going, even though they've styled it as such, going against Trump. They're going against this country and our most precious values and all that has made us great. And that's our middle class.
So why would people, apart from the fact the Democratic Party has actually gone off the deep end and is dangerous, leaving that aside, why would anybody vote for Republicans right now?
Right now, there's only one reason. His name's Donald J. Trump. He's the man who won the election. He is the reason the Republicans retained the House and the Senate, and there is no other explanation. And these fools leading the House and the Senate, Tucker, they really have decided that they can do this without Donald Trump. They don't have to affix themselves to the Trump agenda. They don't have to talk about deregulation. They don't have to look at all that he has achieved. This is already an historic president in a year, just over a year and a half in office. It's remarkable.
But the second they get crushed, assuming, let's say the Republicans lose the House.
Yes, as they likely will if they leave, particularly Ryan in place.
But they're going to blame Trump.
Of course they will. That's the game. And the American people, that will know the reason. There's a party that's not worthy of their support, not worthy of their trust. There is a president, and this is going to be the great divide, because we are watching oligarchs like the Koch brothers carry out class warfare. Think of this. The Koch brothers, who have been synonymous with the Republican Party, are conducting class warfare against the middle class, the foundation of the country, working men and women, and saying, the hell with you. We can bring in illegal immigrants. We're going to arbitrage labor costs just as we've been doing around the world.
Lou Dobbs, not a word mincer.
No, sir.
Great to see you.
Great to see you,
Thank
Tucker.
you for that.
Thank you.
Philadelphia's mayor is putting his citizens at risk for the sake of protecting criminals in the city. That's next, live from New York. Stay tuned. The mayor of Philadelphia has decided that protecting illegal aliens is worth putting his city's citizens at risk. The Preliminary Arraignment Reporting System, or PARS, is a collaboration between ICE and local governments that ICE uses to track when illegal immigrants have been arrested for crimes. But now Mayor Jim Kenney is kowtowing to activists and ending Philadelphia's PARS agreement with ICE for the express purpose of protecting illegal immigrants, even criminal illegals, from capture and deportation. Cesar Vargas is a lawyer and illegal immigrant. He joins us on the set tonight. Cesar, thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much for having me.
So tell me why the mayor of Philadelphia is working to protect foreign nationals accused of crimes, but not American citizens. How does this help the American citizens of Philadelphia?
Well, to talk about democracy, the people of Philadelphia elected the mayor. People who were either born here or are U.S. citizens supported the mayor and still support the mayor's decision to abolish ICE, the ability to cut that tie between ICE. So this is the wishes of Philadelphia.
So you're
And they're
saying,
not-
wait,
and
hold
they're
on,
not.
whoa. So by that, okay, so you're saying that any elected official, because he was elected, by definition, all of his decisions have the support of the people. So by that standard, Donald Trump, his position on illegal immigration is the will of the people of the United States. So how dare you question it?
Well, there's difference, right? We have the Electoral College
there's a
and
difference.
the popular vote.
No, he
Donald
was-
Trump
hold on, he was
won by
elected-
technicality, and you want to kind of say by Russian
Hold on,
help.
let me just
So
say, hold
we
on, wait,
wanna
slow
be
down, slow down.
technical on
As
that.
an American, let me explain our system to you. I know that you're here illegally. As an American, I will tell you that he won under the rules that we have that were set out in our founding documents. Now, you may not like them, but those were the rules. So he is our democratically elected president. And your point now is that once you're elected, no one can complain about what you do because, as you put it, democracy.
And you have the right to complain, and I think everyone has the right to challenge the decision. And I think that's
so
what
you made
democracy
a silly
is.
point. I destroyed it. Let's get to the real meat of this debate, which is like, how actually does that help the citizens, whether they voted for him or not?
Well, it's
in
still
Philadelphia, how does it help allowing criminals to go unpunished or to escape federal law enforcement? How does that benefit the Philadelphians?
Well, there's two systems, right? The preliminary arraignment reporting system that we just cut tie, right? That essentially prevented ICE from going into the system that, you know, immigration's day-to-day interaction. So if they go to a party with a bunch of foolish teenagers and they go call police and they arrest a teenager, that's a system they're going to cut off. Like, ICE doesn't need to get involved in that. The system, if someone gets arrested for a violent crime, they still go through FBI and Department of Homeland Security fingerprints. So violent criminals, people who threaten us harm, will still be going through a system, will still get background, and ICE still has this information. To two separate systems, people of Philadelphia will still be protected. ICE will not target the foolish teenager or someone who's just going to
they
a
won't
fight.
enforce federal law in Philadelphia. So that's a federal law. By the way, voted for under the system that you lauded when you first sat down, our democracy. People voted for those laws, and you're now saying that it's immoral to enforce them. So I guess I'm the one who believes in democracy, not you. But by your standard, the state of New York has an assault weapons ban. Lots of towns are against that. Should local sheriffs say, I'm not for the ban, I'm not going to refer violators of the ban to the feds or to the state. Would that be okay with you?
Well, we already have some counties in upstate or across the country who are pushing against gun laws, right? Don't we have?
No, we
people,
don't have any. We don't have any town.
Plenty of
Hold on.
times
No, we
where
don't.
your side resists and people.
No.
This is democracy,
we
right?
actually.
People
no.
resist in terms of the policies that they disagree with.
What
and
they
that's okay.
what they don't do is encourage the violation of law. Because that's not democracy, that's anarchy, okay? So you know as well as I that if there was a town in New York that's like, we're just not obeying your gun laws, how's that sound? That you'd be outraged, and I actually wouldn't like it either, because I kind of believe in the law. So why is this different? Because one is fashionable and helps the Democratic Party and the other's not, right?
Well, listen, I think, you know, when it comes to the resist movement, we have seen this across the country, whether it's Republican or Democrat, whether it's liberal or conservative. Everyone has the right to resist, and that's what democracy is, right? So we're not debating about fashion laws. We're debating of whether or not I should violate people's constitutional rights, and I think that's what's at stake at this moment.
Oh, okay. So deporting someone here illegally is violating his constitutional right. That's so insane. I'm not even sure I can. Very quickly, I just want to ask you this. So there are now calls on the left to make health care universal Medicaid. This country's tens of trillions in debt. Should we extend those benefits to illegal aliens? And if so, why?
Well, I think it goes to the concept of citizenship, right? As a nation, we have matured from only free landowner white people to now
Don't hit
women
me with the,
to
don't hit me with the
African-Americans,
race
right?
crap.
No,
okay?
but we're talking, we're talking about women, right? We're talking
as
about
a
women
citizen
as
of
well,
a
right?
country controlled by the
I guess to answer
conquistadors,
your
don't
question,
lecture me about
I believe
that stuff.
not only in healthcare, but I believe that we should open the franchise, the right to vote, to everyone, because the unique.
Including you.
The unique
You're
power
here
of American
illegally.
democracy. It's not a constitution, but it's the unique experiment that we all are equal. That is what American democracy is all about.
I don't know what chutzpah is in Spanish, but for you sitting here illegally, and we're not reporting you or having you like taken out by force.
And you know, actually,
Hold on.
I got a green
You're-
card now.
You're
and you know what?
telling.
That's a whole different.
Well, you do have a green card.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I didn't do it the right way. I did it the
Mazel tov.
American way.
No,
But that's for a different segment.
You're telling me that the essence of our country is not our Constitution, it's letting illegals vote. And I have to nod and both agree. Yeah, that's absolutely right, Caesar.
It's about us truly embracing that everyone can be an American.
Everyone.
Regardless of whether you're born. And regardless of
so
your
no matter where
religious
you're
status.
from, you have a right to come here, vote in our elections, get free stuff. We built this awesome country, and now everyone from around the world just gets to take whatever they want. Because
Illegal
why?
immigrants
Because
built this
why?
nation, right?
No, they didn't. No, actually, they
Did
didn't.
Christopher Columbus have citizenship when
He
came
didn't
abroad?
build the country, by the way.
Who did? Immigrants did, right?
Right. No, actually, Americans did. And that's
We
the
all are
fundamental lie.
Americans.
No, you're not. Actually, you're a Mexican citizen, I believe.
It's right here, a Mexican American, and that's the pride of this great.
You know what you are? You're bold. I will say that. I kind of admire it in a way.
Oh, I
Caesar,
appreciate
great
it.
to see
Thank
you.
you so much for having me again.
We finally have the FBI's FISA application targeting Carter Page. Much of it was redacted. It's about 20 pages. What's in those 20 pages? We'll investigate that coming up. Also, Greg Gutfeld is